We're going to bring me on. Welcome, everybody. Here we go. Let's go to comments. We're good. And as people join, that'll be fantastic. If nobody joins, well, that'll be, well, it's not fantastic, of course, but it just kind of is. We're a little late. It affects it. Everything affects it. I don't promote it. Oh, gosh, why not? I don't know. I do know. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you whatever it is you want to know. What is it you want to know? Where are we going? Somewhere. The heck kind of an answer is somewhere? Got to go someplace, right? Sometimes going no place is someplace. Oh, that hurts. And you know, it's the same thing as sometimes making no decision actually is a decision. But it's not sometimes, it's all the time. Without a decision, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. Should we do this? Should we not? I don't know. I will do it later. That's a decision. The decision is to do it later. And then what happens with it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing goes along with it across the board. That's bad, is it not? And it really truly is. So we need to start doing hey, you guys don't, oh that's the turkey thing. I was like, wow. But we need to make decisions. And they could be right, they could be wrong, they could be whatever it is, it is. So are we too conservative? Possibly. I would say probably. Not risk taking conservative. That's not what I mean. Well, let's clarify that. Taking a risk. Let that sink in. Is it a calculated risk? I just took a sip of coffee. Did I take a risk? I took a risk that it was too hot. I took a risk that it was too cold. Maybe it was a Goldilocks thing. It was perfect. It wasn't. It was too cold. It was from this morning. Forgot when I had it from. But that's a decision. I decided to take a drink and I did. Was it a good decision? Nope. I'll tell you that right now. It was not a good decision. It wasn't terrible. The milk didn't go bad or anything like that, but wow. Nah, I should have had a hot coffee, should have prepared a little bit more. That's what should have been done. And maybe that's the basis for everything, right? Should have prepared, should know. Because this idea of going somewhere is not it. Now let's filter this whole thing in as a whole bunch of hypothetical crap, right? There we go. 5 minutes into hypothetical crap. What did we accomplish? Nothing. Nothing. And that seems to be, I was thinking about, well, I've been thinking about a whole bunch of different things, including this week. I was like, what did I do? I actually forgot to even turn it on yesterday. I didn't unintentionally do it. My wife and I went out for a ride. We went out east, had to go visit with, just driving around. Actually, really had a nice time. Stopped by, saw Pete over at the track and stuff like that. Nice little conversation there. But I knew I was going to go out. It wasn't like I just magically appeared in a car to go. I just forgot to do this thing. So that was bad planning, right? So that's why I just played it in the end. But that's not really good. So why did I do that? The other day, Tuesday, I kind of knew I wasn't going to do it, so played a recorded one on that. Did that. Now I think it's fine to do the recorded. That's not really the issue, right? I'm doing this every day of the week, for the past 2.5 years. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, whatever. So there are reasons to not be sitting at this desk in front of my unbelievably fancy background. That's not terribly fancy. Each and every day. That's not really it. It's the planning. So why is it that I forgot? Why is it that I haven't finished the back of this thing? Why is it that sometimes we say, I'll get to it later? Why is it that we procrastinate it all? Why do we try to do everything that we possibly can? Why do we do all of those things? Why do we really not know who our target market is? Why do we not really have a clear, defined elevator pitch? Knowing who we're speaking to when we go to a networking event. Why is it that, and I just realized sometimes we don't put on our jacket prior to doing this thing, or at least a button-down shirt. Why do we do all these things? I can tell you, I think it all comes down to like clarity from within. within us. You, time waits. Oh, the day got ahead of me. You know, the rest of that stuff. It's like, oh, I never really got to the things I really wanted to get to. It's like, but why? What is the common cause? What is the commonality amongst all of those things? And I know on my side of things, if I'm doing something where I know there'll be no interruptions and I know there'll be no not fallback, but I know there'll be no way to make up for it and stuff like that, then you prepare a little bit more. You're just in the moment. I like being in the moment. There's no distractions or anything like that. Like now, I know I'm doing this. That's it. Nothing else will really matter. The phone can ring, get a text message, whatever. It's just focused here. I'm doing that, the announcing and any of that kind of stuff, or on stage anywhere, whatever, all that stuff, just there. That's good. But you know what that is? That means I'm in a situation where it is clear, totally clear what needs to be done. Let's go back overall kind of comment over here about, I don't know, what's your brand, time management, getting to things, procrastinating is like, do we really get up in the morning and have good idea, clear idea of what we really want to accomplish in the course of that day? And how do you get to that point? Well, it's a matter of kind of tracking. It's a matter of note taking. It's a matter of keeping a whiteboard or whatever your theory is, whatever your best way of doing it is, your contact management system, emails. There could be a million and one different ways to do this thing. But I do believe that if we start the night before with making notations, call it a diary, you could do that too. But making notations about what we still have open items from that day. So let's call it a Monday. We get through Monday. Let's assume we don't do anything on Sunday, right? We just show up on Monday. It's like, okay, what are we doing today? And Monday becomes an utter mess. Utter mess all over the place. We're going somewhere, which means nowhere, and they got ahead of us and all the rest of that stuff. But let's assume that day goes that day. And then throughout the day, we kind of jot down, hey, called Bob, called Mary, no response. Emailed 5 prospects, nobody got back to me. At the end of the day, you write down, see that you did that, the 5 prospects, the 2 phone calls, and hopefully something else that you did over the course of the day. Now, what still is open from Monday, and you're going to go start Tuesday with the same thing. You're going like, those 5 prospects, well, what do you do with the prospects? You know what? These were just shot in the dark kind of people. I'm not going to follow through with them, or maybe I'll follow through a week from now. You could jot down on your piece of paper for Tuesday, what are you going to do Tuesday, which you're going to fill out Monday night, right? Monday night, you're going to fill out Tuesday sheet, which is like, okay, I know I don't want to follow up with these 5 people for another week. So if you've got paper or an Excel document, again, email, contact management, take those 5 people and put them in your calendar for a week from now. Now when your calendar opens, and you must make sure your calendar opens, that, hey, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do this. But it's got to be someplace where you have everything in one spot. And that piece of paper, Excel sheet, might be check calendar for things to do. Could be check Facebook, wish everybody happy birthday. LinkedIn, wish everybody a happy birthday. Do a 5-minute TikTok just to say hi, make sure everybody knows that you're still here. Oh, and then you could put that on YouTube and wherever, kind of post it out. But if you do all of those things, you have a bad Monday, but Monday night, you're writing out for Tuesday what you need to do. Now, all of a sudden, when you wake up on Tuesday, you're going to know where you're going to go. you're going to be that much more focused on your day. Try it. You won't waste time. It will take you a little bit of time to put together. I know, I've done it. Need to do it again. It'll take some time to get that organized and what becomes over there. But those things that we do on an everyday basis, look, I got a half a dozen things I have to do each and every day. It's got nothing to do with this. It's got to do with other things. I have to do each and every day. If they're there, I do. When I did this in paper form, I just checked off that I did it and made a little note, things I have to do through the day about follow up with, check on this, rest of that kind of stuff. But now I got the day started with a routine. Felt good about myself on that one. Internally, just kind of felt good that I accomplished these things, moved on, and it was done. The other thing that was kind of crazy about that too is that at the end of the day, I looked back and I was like, hey, look what I did. Sometimes it's a look what I didn't do. There's reality in there, but that's it. Going back to my wife on that one. I'd come home at the end of the day. I was like, oh man, what a day. She's like, well, what'd you do? I'm like, I don't know, but it was really busy. Didn't know. How do I not know? It sounded kind of nuts. It's like, I don't know. They just kind of flew by. So I actually created this sheet, for me. And it was those things that I needed to do that day. I was also tracking water. So I had 6 glasses of water in a little box. And every time I drank a glass of water, I checked off the box. Hey, whatever. That was the time. And then a whole bunch of things throughout the day. And then things I wanted to do for tomorrow. So I had it down on the sheet there. This way, throughout the day, I was able to jot a little note. And then also, which was really important too, was like, what was my best moment of the day? Best moment of the day. But overall, here's what happened. One, took me a while to build that routine together. So I realized that if I didn't have that book, and I was using a notebook, but yeah, 3-ring binder. Yeah. Not even that kind of thing dates me, right? A 3-ring binder. I'll stay on this one. 3-ring binder. So I had that, but if I didn't have it on the top of my desk, I didn't do it. I was like, I'll do it later. And you know what? That didn't happen. I never did it when I said I was going to do it later. I had it on my desk. Oh, but then what else happened with that? And this is why it takes a while to get it together. It's like, well, if I had the binder opened up on the desk, that took up a lot of space on the desk. I mean, my desk had to be clean. It's like, oh man, I got to clean the desk. I got papers, but I know exactly what piece of paper is in what spot because I put it there. Well, that doesn't really work if your desk is cluttered because I now open the book and then all of a sudden papers go on top and it's like, you just forget to do it. So that was a problem. So you wind up cleaning the desk. That was good. So you get these other little things that went along with it. And then other people came in, when I was in an office, when we come in the office, what am I doing? Some thought I was nuts, whatever. Some do still think I'm nuts or what, as that goes along. And then I did another thing, which was called time management, because I realized it's like, could I be accomplishing more in the course of the day? Where did the day go? That was still a question. Right, Karen, this was probably 10, 15 years ago I went through this. Like, where did my day go? I don't know. And this was back in the time when I was driving to Great Neck. Living in Suffolk County, I was driving to Great Neck. Whatever. I don't miss not commuting like that, let me tell you. But I was driving to Great Neck, so I'd go to the library. I actually had to go to the library. I got these books on tape. I think it was books on disc at the time. Might have been tape. Who knows? It wasn't 8-track tape. It wasn't that long ago. But I got these books. It was a CD, actually, a book on CD. And I would listen to, in order to use my car university, it was automobile university, use that time more efficiently rather than just listen to the radio. And I would take out all of these business books, motivation books, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And even that was a story, but some of the stuff that was mentioned there made a whole lot of sense. And it was the time management one. It was create a spreadsheet, right? That's it. 3 categories on the left column and then wide open on the right. And those 3 categories are, or it was 3 categories, and then 2 other columns about time. What time you started it, what time you ended it. And then if it was important, really important, or have to do, want to do, or was it important? That kind of, was it important? Was it mildly important or just not important at all? And I had that on my desk also. See, here's what happened. All right. One, I had all these things, took forever. It took me a good solid month to get a routine going with it. But that's a challenge. Also, my daily sheet too, water, those have to do's. It takes a little bit of time to get that together about those things that you do each and every day. And you remember that you do it. Don't just naturally do it. But I had all this stuff on my desk. All of a sudden, when people came in, and I was in a management role, when people came into the office, they're like, wow, it looked like I got more organized. I cleaned the desk. I don't know how much more organized I got, but I cleaned the desk. Appearance is everything, right? If I was wearing a suit and tie, I would look a little different than just wearing this shirt. Appearance is everything. But that was it. That was the appearance of the desk. And then when they came in, you should have seen the facial expressions on this one. But then when they came in, hey, Mitchell, how you doing there, my buddy? So when they came in the office, I'd write their name down on the sheet. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out where the time of my day goes. And I just lost track of it. And I'm just keeping track of everything I do throughout the day. And so I'm just writing a name down. We're having a conversation, not making notes on the conversation, but just doing that. So I'd write down the time and we'd talk. And then I'd write down the time it ended and the person would leave. Here's another little thing that happened. Not that they didn't want to talk to me, but nobody wanted to talk to me about gibberish anymore. It was like, more of a sudden, I realized, well, again, this is after a week or so, I realized how much time I spent just talking. And we'll keep the jokes down on this one. But how much time we spent just talking and talking about nothing, really. It wasn't talking about the industry we're in, anything like that. It was general. So I added that up. Man, you know what? It's a lot of time, like maybe an hour or so. It fluctuated, but an hour a day to that one. Now all of a sudden, that most of that hour, came back to me, not with people coming in and talking about nothingness. And there's a benefit to talking about people with nothingness. It builds camaraderie and all the rest of that. Save that one for another day. But it did create time by alleviating some of those, by the way, some of those conversations don't really need to be. There's another thing I came to realize too, is that I actually really needed to get organized, because that desk looked clean, but it was just a look. Papers, filing, and stuff like that. I also came to realize I spent an hour a day looking for things, not going to a file cabinet, pieces of paper, and pulling out a folder, manila folder, in paper form, a document. But it was like, where did I put that? So something that should take a minute, right? Twirl it around, there it is. I pull it out and that's it. Whatever. Takes a minute. That's part of it. But if it takes me 15 minutes to find something because I'm not sure where I filed it, yikes. Yikes, what an eye opener that was. That was something. That was another big one. So eventually I was able to answer that question. Where does my day go? I talked a lot about bull. I enjoyed it. Maybe too much. And then I spent an awful lot of time looking for things I really didn't need to look for. Well, I didn't need to spend as much time looking for if I was more organized. Spent another month getting that together. And it happened. Became much more efficient. Became more efficient, less frustrated, and clearer as to what I really should be doing in order to further the goal. And it's really the point of the whole thing here. Really being clearer and not disorganized, and being neater and being more focused on what needs to be done for you. And are we? Granted, it changes. Granted, things come up. Granted, what those conversations are nice to have. Calling somebody out of the blue, those 5 prospects. right? If you got them on the phone and they just wanted to talk about who the heck knows what, found that back in when I was cold calling. Get these people on the phone. They just wanted to talk about everything. I was like learning all about their health issues and stuff like that. And I was not calling for the health industry. People want to talk and you learn about people and all the rest of that. You know what? You build a relationship. And sometimes the BS conversation is actually meaningful as that goes. So you do that. But if you're not wasting time on other things that really shouldn't take time, it really should just take a minute to find a piece of paper and now a digital folder, make it work that way. So getting clarification as to who you are, what you want to do. You know what? Sometimes it starts with getting rid of all those things that are just an absolute waste of time. Not being organized, not having digital folders now. So now it's a matter of recreating a lot of these things. So be it. But it's a matter of, the digital folders, making that, getting that together so you could find different things. Social media. Oh, how many people do you speak to? Pick yourself. Like, oh yeah, I went on TikTok and I was there for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. I didn't realize, get a timer, get something. This way, we got clocks all over the place. Hey, maybe not a clock on the wall, but you got clocks in the computers all over the place. Set a time limit on that thing and make that part of your routine in there. 15 minutes on LinkedIn, 15 minutes on Facebook, 15 minutes on Instagram or wherever you find to be the most effective for you. And what do you do there? You can break that down. Maybe that's too exact, maybe not. I know I go through it, wish everybody a happy birthday, do that kind of quickly. Anybody gets promoted or something like that that they put up over there, do that. And then kind of go through the posts a little bit. Because, again, got to looking to start conversations with certain people on certain things, certainly on the vocational side of stuff. So I always skim through, but I could skim through for hours. That's not really it. Or I could skim through for 5 minutes and then allot another 10 minutes to a conversation or a post, a like, a comment on stuff like this. But now we're doing it for a purpose. So when you wind up on social media, you're not just watching videos for the sake of watching videos. YouTube's a killer on that one. It just truly is. You put on a video, hey, that looks interesting. And next thing you know, 20 minutes are gone, half hour's gone. I can multitask. Not really. Multitasking is not it's not all it's cracked up to be. We can let somebody on here talk to you about why. I'll get talked about why, but you get distracted. It's not really it. And you can get things done a lot quicker if you just focused on it. Just being focused on it. But now you're going on, you're doing social media for a purpose, not just to skim along. You want to just skim along and do something? Do it after 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or whatever your downtime is, then do it that way. You're exercising on a bicycle indoors, not out on the road, Mike, if you're or that kind of thing. Then you want to know something? Then by all means, futz around with it. But I can tell you, I've done that. Indoor bicycle, right? So I'm not going to fall off if I'm not looking at it, but I'm not pedaling anywhere near as hard as I should be. Nothing like that. So, Mitch, you mentioned the sauna for organizing. It's free and great. All right, there you go. Then never heard about that one. So, see, sometimes it does pay to talk about off the cuff stuff and you wind up learning something. So, there is something to be said for that. But if you have an 8-hour day and you spend 8 hours talking about who knows what, well, now that's just a shot in the dark. That's something to come. That's not it. So be a little bit more focused. It's a goal of mine too, is to get a little bit more focused and accomplish a little bit more. And it's not really about working harder. It is about working smarter. And ultimately, as we age, when you're 20, maybe you're doing everything because you don't know what you really want to do. When you're 30, you're feeling confident. Now you got knowledge behind you and you're like, yeah, I could do everything. And you try to do everything. But I think as we continue on a little bit more so, maybe we get a little bit smarter, a little bit more focused on that. Sometimes we revert back, and it's like, oh, that's not really it. And look, with COVID, we had to start all over again with so many different things, and that became very complicated too. Then maybe we have a free time that we're able to do something with. Well, we realize that we just really, truly want to make a change, and we go back through the 20s and 30s again. Stick with the 30s. This way we have knowledge that can make change. And the world just becomes a wide open book again. That could be unbelievably exciting. And then it has to be brought back down again. And that's where it's at. That's where I'm at. Honestly speaking, over here, yeah, we're at 40. We'll go with 40. Instead of 30, 40. I was much healthier when I was 40 than 30, anyhow. A lot healthier. Big time difference. And Mitch was a big part of that one, too. Kicked my ass in racquetball. And that was actually why I quit smoking. Really got focused, too. So, Mitch, and you were a major factor in that one as that went. But now here we go. It's like, okay, now you're 61. Things are changing. What do I want to do? Well, I can do everything. That's not really true. It's definitely not true. But it's a matter of focusing it down and back of there. And I got a feeling a lot of us are in that thing. Between COVID changing everything, everything is digital, networking's changed, business has changed, marketing has changed. Where do you advertise? Where do you market? Who's your client? All the rest of that stuff. It's so different. So different. Cold calling? Can't cold call. Get in big trouble on that one. Cold calling? Are you talking to machines? Well, cold calling LinkedIn is the new cold calling, sending out messages. Boy, and some people need to figure that one out too. I get these automated messages. It's like, come on, really? Figure out your about profile, all the rest of that kind of stuff. Make it work. Make it work that way. So maybe we'll have somebody on with marketing. Maybe we'll have somebody on with time management and the rest of that stuff. But I just want to let you know where I was at this week. My big aha moment. What did I learn this week? Is that being organized does not kill creativity. It actually adds to creativity because it frees up your mind, it frees up your time, and you get rid of those have-to-dos immediately. Some of those have-to-dos could be a whole lot of fun to do. I like saying happy birthday to people. It's not a bad have-to-do, but it's a have-to-do. Get that routine going on. You get your routine going on, well, you're going to build up confidence in yourself because you'll be clearer in your own mind as to what you can be doing, where you should be putting your time, energy, and effort into it. Will it take time to do? Absolutely. And I don't mean it's going to take you 15 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours to do. It's going to take you months to do. And from what I've been told, sometimes the longer it takes you to accomplish something, that means the more you're going to wind up accomplishing. The more challenges you go through to get there, the clearer you're going to be. And what's the best part of that, too? The more successful you're going to be. And you're going to be able to turn that around and help other people enjoy their success, too. And that's why we need to speak well, speak often, and live inspired. Because you will inspire somebody else to do exactly the same thing. Have a great weekend. We're back next week. August next week. Crazy stuff. All right, Mitch, a little bit of music going out over there, and who knows? Maybe we'll play racquetball one of these days again. In a long time. I still got some rackets here someplace. All right, I'm going to play the music and turn off the comments before you say anything there, because I don't know. Go for a hike. How's that sound? All right. Be well, everybody. Enjoy everything that you do. Make sure you do what you should be doing. A little bit of music there, Maestro.